Hello and welcome to another episode of the Theo Keeps Talking podcast, where you may laugh or you may learn. Available on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. My name is Theo, and the most important question of the day: how are you all doing? Last week was part 4 of the work story series that I did on my podcast. It was a lot of fun. I talked about working for Uber Eats and DoorDash over the course of the past few months. A lot of good stories, a lot of laughs. So that was a great one to check out when you get a chance. Today's a fun one. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I finally have a guest. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and however you may identify, Theo Keeps Talking is now Theo Talks and Sometimes Listens. I am talking with my wonderful girlfriend, Alli, today. Say hi, baby.
Hello.
So, we're going to talk today on this Valentine's Day weekend. But first, in some real world news, let's talk about something serious for a moment. There has been a rampant rise in discrimination and assault towards Asian people and Asian businesses in America recently. Several instances in California have made headlines, and most recently, there were 6 Asian restaurants in our area that were broken into and robbed this week, which is just awful. We go to some of the affected restaurants rather often, so it's sad to see what's happening. And I want to extend my sincerities to the Asian communities of all nationalities and ethnicities. And I'll do anything I can to uplift and defend you all to the best of my abilities. And Allie, I don't know if you have anything to add on that front.
Yeah, so I'm still kind of processing how I feel. I'm just kind of speechless, and it's not out of shock necessarily. It's just out of disappointment and sadness and anger. Up till this point, I've been doing everything that I can to be an ally for the Black community and have seen a lot of horrible things happen to that community. And as a half Asian woman, I've been lucky enough to not experience too many instances of racism directed towards me. But up until the last year or so, racism against the Asian community wasn't talked about very much. And I'm disappointed that we're really only now seeing such horrific acts being given the media time and exposure that it needs to show people that it does happen. And even though it has been happening, now that it's happening so overtly to my community as well, it's just very exhausting to see these things week after week. And it's exhausting fighting for equality when it only seems to be regressing further and further with every day. But the fight must continue, and I certainly won't be giving up. And so, to the Asian community, they can't burn us all. And to the Black community, I will continue to stand by you all as an ally.
That was fantastic. And of course, we'll do anything we can to assist in any way that arises, and we'll continue to spread information about the current situation on all of our socials and everything like that.
Mhm.
For the recommendation section, Allie and I finished watching Bridgerton. I thought it was good. I thought it was my first time watching a primarily romance show. So I don't know if the faults in the characters are individual or just part of the genre. I'm not really sure. Babe, what did you think about the show?
So I thought it was a great show, honestly. I watch mostly drama and rom-com types of shows unless they're with you. So yes, I do think the faults in the characters are definitely quite common in the genre, and I think it's mostly because if we had characters that made the best decisions or communicated well all the time, then it wouldn't make for an interesting or an entertaining show. Um, and any drama that could happen would be avoided if that were the case. So since we're in the greatest relationship ever, it's easier for us to look at a show like this and kind of roll our eyes at it because we know that any sound relationship is based on good communication and respect. And Yeah, but that's all I'll say without giving away any spoilers, though, obviously.
I will actually give like a spoiler or two. So
Oh.
I went into the show thinking that they would have at least said stupid, or that they would have said Tuesday, like in the really silly way they say Tuesday, and neither of those things happened. I was so disappointed the entire time I was watching. I'm like, you couldn't give me this, but it was. I mean, I thought it was a good show, but
Mhm.
honestly, I was like, man, these characters, like, could y'all like talk, like something, say something,
There
you
were a
know?
few instances. There were a few instances there that where they did come close to saying like those types of words, but I was really looking forward to the Tuesday as well.
And like just so close, but apparently they're getting 7 more seasons,
Eight,
so
I think eight.
okay, so 8
Mhm.
seasons. So, I mean, hey, I'm all about it. You know what I mean? I it was a good watch. We're gonna watch, To All the Boys 3 this weekend.
So excited.
There's not enough Jordan Fisher from what
Nope.
I've seen, so
Mm-mm.
I already have a very, very strong bias.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I mean, I'm kinda floating into the romance these days, you know? Like, it looks like it's on the horizon for me. So I got a few songs that I've been listening to. First one is Over Here by Party Next Door featuring Drake yet again. Date by, I don't know if it's Tony Smith. Wow, I said it all wrong. Tone Stith, Tonestith. I don't know if it's Tone or Tony, but the song is Date. Then Smile by Levin Callie and It's Gonna Rain by Kelly Price. Been spinning those lately. And of course, as to wrap it back to the top, we have a very, very special guest. Miss Alexandra Grace Tamboan is on the podcast with me. Alli, as she goes by, official Kung Fu Tea
Oh my
ambassador,
God.
animal enthusiast, lover of powerful yet mysterious anime boys. Um,
Oh
and
my
my
God.
girlfriend of nearly 6 years together. You have the honor, which only you deserve, of being my very first guest. So please introduce yourself.
Well, first off, I want to say I'm honored to be here. But as Theo mentioned, I'm Allie. I went to college at Towson University, where I majored in computer science with a concentration in cybersecurity, and am now a cybersecurity analyst associate. Um, Other than that, I sing, read tarot, read in general, watch YouTube and TikTok literally all day. I love dogs, and I do drink more boba than I'd like to admit. I and as Theo said again, I am a Kung Fu Tea brand ambassador, and I got to the black belt status in 7 months. You know, like the Starbucks star statuses that you achieve depending on how much you spend. Yeah. Yep. But it's an addiction that hurts absolutely no one. So, oops.
Allie, you got to ask the most important question here. You know, I
Mhm,
gave my list of recommendations. I do them every single week. Do
mhm.
you have any recommendations to give?
Sure. Okay, so I guess the first one I should start with is for my Kung Fu Tea recommendations. So, my go-to while trying to be healthier is the Kung Fu Classic green tea with 0% sugar, and either with aloe jelly and or just the regular boba. For milk tea, I would strongly suggest the rosehip milk tea. And the toppings for that I'd suggest are either regular boba, crystal boba, and or the red bean topping. And then for the occult series, which is like the yogurt drink that's really popular in, I believe, Korea, mostly, would be the yogurt green tea with toppings like regular boba, crystal boba, aloe jelly, nata jelly, that type of thing. And then lastly, for the fruit punch or fruit tea. slash punch series, I would say the strawberry lemonade with boba or nata jelly. Sometimes I like to add two toppings to them, sometimes three, but no one needs to know that. Um, so I would say you can't ever go wrong with just the regular boba if you don't want to be too adventurous. As for music, I am absolutely in love with lo-fi. So please, if you're ever looking for any chill music to vibe to study to, or whatever, I recommend lo-fi for that. It's some of the most relaxing stuff I've ever listened to. I can sleep to it. But for actual songs, um, my recommendations for that are kind of on the side of not many people have heard it, or like it's not very common. But I'd say for an artist, go with Isaac Danielson. Give him a listen. I think he's from Poland, but his music is it's beautiful. Um, for songs, I'd recommend. So I have two K-pop recommendations, which are "Bad Boy" by Red Velvet and "I Need You" by I think it's pronounced Ailey or Ailey. Um, and then for R&B recommendation, I'd say Passport by Masego. And then for like a workout type of song, I'd say Gurenge by Lisa. It's the Demon Slayer opening theme song. And I sometimes listen to that song on repeat because it gets me really pumped for my workout because a lot of times I dread going into it. Um, and then, okay, for TV shows, I would say for K dramas, I'd recommend a classic Boys Over Flowers, and then the Chinese version of that would be Meteor Garden. That's also a really, really great one. Um, and then Legend of the Blue Sea and Dodo Sol Sol Lala Sol. I just finished that one today. Um, for the Filipino teleseries or the Filipino dramas, I'd recommend On the Wings of Love and Till I Met You. For anime, I would recommend Hunter x Hunter, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, Violet Evergarden, Fruits Basket, and currently we're watching Naruto and Attack on Titan, so we'll have to give an update about that someday. Um, and for regular shows, I'd suggest Bridgerton and Prison Break. That is an old one, but it's fantastic. It is such a fantastic show. And lastly, uh, YouTube channel recommendations. First and foremost, I have to recommend my girl Vixella. She is a Sims and Stardew Valley content creator, and I've never resonated or identified so closely with a YouTuber as much as I have with her. Um, some other ones I recommend would be I Has Cupquake, Tim the Tatman, and Courage JD. They do gaming content. And Courage JD, fun fact, he actually went to Towson University a few years before I did, before he became a famous streamer. I would recommend Alli Fitz. She does episode and Love Island content, and she's also a singer and the absolute love of my life. I've had conversations with her, and she's just really chill. And the last two I'd recommend are SS Sniper Wolf. She does reaction videos, sometimes gaming content too, here and there. And Brad Mondo, he does hairdresser reactions. So, yep, that is all of my recommendations.
I mean, that is as accurate as it gets. Every time I go over to her house, it's like either Sasha, either Brad Mondo, and I know them better than I know most of the people I watch now. Um, and and she really has the vibes going with the lo-fi, because one of the like at home projects we did like with her dad this summer was we put LEDs in her room, so
Hmm.
she'll throw the lo-fi music on, she'll turn the LEDs on, and it's just a very nice environment, especially
Hmm.
because you need to find the most peace you can in your house because you just
Hmm.
don't leave your house these days. Especially with how icy it is outside and everything like that. So
And working
My
from home as well.
yeah, absolutely. So my girl, she brings the vibes. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get to the burning question. So let's talk about how we met. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. So even though Allie and I have been together for almost 6 years, we went to the same school starting in third grade for me and second grade for her. And we went to the same school all the way through high school. We had known each other like tangentially for a while because all of our schools were really small. Like my high school graduating class was 82 people,
Mhm.
and yours was like 56 or something
No,
like
it
that.
was like 47.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like half of yours.
Yeah, so you know, you see everyone eventually. There's no one you don't know.
Mhm.
And when I was a freshman in high school, she was still in 8th grade. And I started my first relationship in that time. That first highly turbulent, highly incendiary relationship was certainly the foundation for the fantastic relationship we have now. When we started going to the same high school, I used to make jokes and tease her from time to time because she would walk down the halls in this super calculated manner, carrying this big purple binder every single day. And I just found it so funny. And that's just how things kicked off. The next year we were on the same golf team, and that made us a lot closer as friends. Her dad was an assistant coach on the team, and he's also insanely good at golf. So the pieces were coming together. My senior year, I was single, so my first relationship had I don't know if you could say ended more than exploded, but it was over. So my senior year I was single, which was her junior year, and that led to a series of questionable decisions on my
Mhm.
end, to say the least. And Allie definitely humbled me, no doubt about that. And eventually we reconciled and we got back on the right track. And eventually she and I got along really well. We realized we might want to do a little something with these excess emotions we have. um, One of the hurdles we had going into our relationship was the fact that it was going to be long distance basically from the start. I was definitely hesitant to begin a long distance relationship because Allie formally decided that she wasn't going to leave Maryland to go to college, which made perfect sense. But I had no idea what was in store as far as seeing each other and our channels of communication in the road to come. And this was Allie's first relationship as well. So I wanted things to be as good as possible and as many avenues you could think of. But it really came down to good communication, and that carried us all the way to this point, really. So, Allie, if you
Mhm.
would talk about your pathway.
Sure. So in high school, I played the flute in our symphonic band. And in my senior year, I was first chair, and then I went on to play the flute and Towson's marching band for 2 years. And honestly, I wish I could have done all 4 years and mildly regret not doing so. Um, but my major just got rougher and rougher. And so it was just hard to really stay committed to all the practices that they had lined up. Um, but overall, I wouldn't change the years that I was a part of it because it was just such a great experience. And then as for other things outside of the band, I was also into choirs. One was my church choir, which I still sing with from time to time, but haven't recently because of the pandemic. And the other was a nonprofit organization choir that I was a part of from about eighth or ninth grade up until I graduated high school. There were different groups in that choir based on age and skill level, and the group that I was a part of was um, the top level group, and I don't mean that in
Yeah.
I don't mean that in
Yeah.
a conceited way, but
Talk
what
to him.
what I mean is we were among the oldest, and we also had such a insane blend together. And there were three girls aside from myself in my group, and they were and are some of the best people I've ever met, and we just clicked so well. I think that's why we had that crazy blend. But I would give so much to sing with them again. Like I haven't seen all of them together. I've seen them separately since then, but I would just love to sing with them again. But all of the other girls in the entire choir were like my little sisters because by the time that I left, I was the oldest, and that was a place in my life where I felt like I made the most impact. I respected them and they respected me, and honestly, I can't exactly say that that's how college always played out in regards to friendships, but overall, again, it was such a great experience, and I would love to do something like that again. And as for my um, interest in like career path, that didn't really start until high school. Later, I think in high school, um, I actually wanted to be a vet or a marine biologist at one point, and that's probably what I would be if I didn't have to worry about um, money or being far from home. But that's not to say that money's the only reason that I did comp sci though. It's I genuinely do like and enjoy it, and I think ever since I was young, I've always had kind of an affinity for technology, and it also helped that a lot of my family members were also in the cyber field and they would tell me what they could about what they did, and it just fascinated me. But I think I'm just at a point where I'm just trying to figure out what I really want to do with it, what avenue I want to take with it in the future, since there's just so many for computer science. So that's where I'm at.
Don't ever take this like veil of humility that she throws up. I mean, it's very real humility, but I will gas her until the ends of the earth. She's the best computer science person on the planet.
Oh my
That's how we
God.
do it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so now we're gonna get into like the ins and outs of like our actual relationship. The setup is, the setup. Everyone has a nice,
Mhm.
cute, wholesome story when they tell it, but we got to really talk about the facts here. Like why are we better than every other relationship ever? You know what I mean? Like, let's get to the facts of it. Um, so we had an initial plan, a really, you know, good foundation for the groundwork of our relationship to have me do a lot of the game planning and the setting up for what we wanted to get out of our relationship. And then Allie would determine how fast we would progress through certain checkpoints and milestones in our relationship and stuff like that. This is the first relationship that she's been in, and the last, and I was in a 2-year long one before. So I kind of knew how to set up goals and things we should aim for. And she would determine how comfortable she'd be with those things and how soon she wanted to do them. Um, an easy example was when she would come visit me at college my freshman year. She would only come up for the day because we had a boundary in place that she wouldn't sleep in my room overnight at that stage in our relationship and stuff like that. But if I'm not mistaken, we said we loved each other less than like 2 months in. So, I mean, we were on the right track really early on.
Hmm.
um the adjustment to long distance was tough for sure, especially considering my lame ass didn't have an iPhone. I was rocking that the sleekest line of technology, that LG Optimus G Pro. I thought I had the sauce, but no, you absolutely did not. 2015 Theo, you had no sauce at all, especially that FaceTime is such a huge benefit to relationships and stuff like that. Having an
Mhm.
Android, I mean, what was I doing?
But also the audacity that you have to clown some of our friends for having Android, but don't forget where you started.
Okay, but that's okay. To be fair, I was 18 years old. They're like 23. They have like a 401k with an iPhone. Like, you should not be closer to owning a house than learn than like than and having an just. What are you doing with that right phone? Your messages are green. Come on now. But yeah, like going to school in the middle of Philadelphia has this really lovely benefit of being right next to an Amtrak station. And that made commuting home on weekends incredibly easy. It was pricey, yeah, but an Amtrak from Philly to Baltimore is so much better than a bus. Amtrak one way was an hour and 10 minutes. The bus was 2 hours with no traffic. So it was a no brainer.
Mhm.
Um, over time, I would say that we have some really good takeaways to share. I know everyone talks about communication, but that's just one point of it. A good relationship from our perspective comes in four parts: communication, transparency, honesty, and respect. And they all tie in together. Like, what is good communication if you only tell 50% of the story? What good
Mhm.
is transparency if none of it's true?
Mhm.
And what's good is being honest if you don't do it in a way that's considerate for your significant other, right? They all
Mhm.
depend on each other. And I would definitely say we tweak the communication aspect the most. We do a lot of active communication. We've never had a fight before. Like that never happens. People have asked me like, so how often do y'all fight? I'm like, we just haven't. We just don't do that. Um, a lot of fights in relationships come from the fact that someone doesn't feel respected or that their voice isn't being heard. So we make sure to like implement changes as often as possible with each other. Um, and like, of course, Allie, you can provide whatever feedback you have on all that.
No, I definitely agree with that. It, I just know from experience with talking to friends and everything that it's just so much. There's so much importance to those four parts for it to be a um, good relationship, and I just think that it's just if you don't have those, and you can't really have anything. Like, what good is the relationship then? That's not somebody that you should be wanting to spend or look for a future in them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's only communication is definitely only a part of it. So those other factors are key as well.
No doubt. And one of the things that I was mentioning to her was that like a little bit ago was how much work you have to put in for
Mhm.
your relationship to be easy. Because
Mhm.
it's I mean, there's no like there's no easy relationship,
Mhm.
but to say that it's hard every single day also isn't true at all, you
Right.
know? It's just about positioning yourself and establishing the necessary foundations that let's just say something comes up that bothers one of the two of us. We have a really good like mental pathway that we both have to
Mhm.
understanding what it is, where did this come from, like what are the necessary steps for, resolving what's in front of us.
Mhm.
And one of the things that we did early on that kind of helped out was like we like her mom actually suggested this that we learned what each other's love languages were.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I wasn't really computing early on that made sense more and more after we did that was how much reassurance you need.
Mhm.
um, because you like up in when we did your love languages, yours was like verbal, like words of affirmation was like near the top.
Yeah.
In my yeah,
I think it was both that and quality time.
yeah, and mine
Mhm.
wasn't. Like mine was like second to last or something like that.
Mhm.
Ironic. The I think the thing that helps us both is that like of the five,
Mhm.
gifts is last for both of us. Like we
Yeah.
neither of us prioritize that,
Right.
but words of affirmation was really high. It was high enough for you, and it wasn't high at
Mhm.
all for me.
Mhm.
So early on, like you would ask me for reassurance on certain things, and I was like, "Didn't I tell you this like yesterday or something like that?" And for me, I just wasn't getting it until I
Mhm.
realized that it's just important to you, you
Yeah.
know, and understanding that those are the things that kind of can help mitigate really small things from turning into big things
Right.
is like the important thing. I think that's
Mhm.
where we do really well. There's
Mhm.
no big things that that like are that we just ignore until they blow up. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we do a
Yeah.
really good active job of being like, okay, this is bothering me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why. Um,
Mhm.
and we just go from there. So nothing ever really turns into, well, you didn't do this. Oh, and by the way, on February 13th of 2007, I saw you with this girl at Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't
Oh my
happen.
god.
You know what I'm saying? Like we address whatever comes up to us really
Right.
like at a good time.
Yeah.
And we do it with respect, and obviously we just want to make sure that we're being listened to and everything, because I talk like
Mhm.
for ever, but when it's time for me to listen to you, I think I'm really just like actively trying to process everything so that
Mhm.
it makes sense to me the next time. Because
Mhm.
sometimes the first time I'm like, no thoughts, brain smooth, head empty. But I try to do it so that if you have a concern, and let's say I'm at work or I was in Philadelphia or something like that, that we could rectify it to the best of our active abilities in the moment. And then if we need to regroup later to make sure that we are on the same page, then we just do it.
Mhm. Yeah. And that's really why I'm also such an advocate for therapy. Whether you're going through something or not, I think it also just helps so much in any relationships that you have because um I don't know, I feel like a lot of people and I definitely didn't when I started going to therapy. I did not communicate very well. And I didn't really know what to do with my emotions or where they stemmed from or whatever. And so in the beginnings of our relationship, um I would try to push things down and not talk about them because I didn't want to like hurt your feelings and I just didn't know if like how what I was feeling was valid. And just going to therapy it definitely helps you figure out the root of what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. And once you have like that understanding of your emotions, it's just such a powerful feeling so that you can go into your relationship confident that you'll communicate things and have the source of it too so that way your significant other knows why you're feeling like that and how and maybe it'll help them figure out how to help you better as well. So I definitely am an advocate for therapy for that too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like it and it helps too because sometimes, we may not have the answers
Mhm.
to what like why am I doing this?
Right.
Sometimes you can't figure it out on
Mhm.
your own, and seeing someone else who can like, look at it from like 10,000 feet
Right.
with like the references from other people because
Mhm.
especially our parents and people that are older than us, they do get better with
Yeah.
understanding things about mental health older like as time moves on, but
Mhm.
especially when you're young, your parents are like there's so many
Mhm.
things that they'll just dismiss. 'Cause they're like, "What do you mean? You have a place to live, you have friends, you have a car, you have a
Right.
job." And I'm like, "I
Right.
still have things that are, bothering me." You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And I'm like, help?" And they're
Right.
like, "Nah, just pray." And I'm like, I have been." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right. Right.
It's just so interesting. So having therapy is like definitely so next level for like really helping yourself be your best self. I
Mhm.
would say like um the thing about self-care too, like therapy might be one of the best things you could ever do because it's ugly. Like
Yeah.
it's not pretty
Mhm.
going to therapy
Right.
and like seeing parts of yourself get like reflected by someone
Right.
else. It's like,
Right.
oh, why you gotta say it like that? But it's really for your benefit. A
Mhm.
lot of self-care on like TikTok and Instagrams, like go to the spa,
Mhm.
make yourself a cake. It's like, nah, self-care is really, really not pretty at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
and you gotta really you can't run away from certain things by going to the spa. It's
Yeah.
good
Right.
sometimes, but you really gotta, face the problems head on sometimes.
Right. Really, like when it comes down to it, like you said, going to the spa or buying yourself new clothes or whatever is good in the moment, but it's only temporary. You can't you have to really figure out the root cause of what you're feeling, so that way you can actually work to improve it. And that's something I learned relatively recently as well, is that self-care is not always pretty. It's not glamorous. It's not comfortable either. It's about really taking those steps to um of course, pamper yourself from here and there, like from time to time, but also to really just figure out um how you can get yourself to move forward. And sometimes it's just not easy, and that's why a lot of people don't do that part of self-care as well.
No doubt. So now that we've advocated for, being a better person and being in the greatest relationship ever, let's go to let's do story time.
Yes.
So first one, how many times I've been threatened
So
in
many.
in regards to our relationship. Um, so when we started dating, everyone in her family and all of her friends and a good chunk of our mutual friends, they were all on me. There was always, if you hurt her, insert threat here. I'm just like, in the first, like, I think 2 weeks of us being together, like,
Mhm.
I was we were going to, like, I think your cousin's house, and we stopped at someone else's house on the way, and they're like, "Yeah, so and so, like, my wife practices at, like, the gun range or something like that." I'm like, "Oh my god."
I don't know who you're talking about, but sure.
I'm just like, Okay," and I'm just like, "This is so brutal,"
Yeah.
like, why does this keep happening? And then with each year that more and more of, like, my friends from Drexel would meet you,
Mhm.
even though I had known them longer, they would threaten me. And like, after meeting you just for the first time, and it got so bad that during my senior year, right, my last year, my freshman mentees, these are my kids, right, had heard all about you, heard all about wifey, and I was giving a presentation literally around this time last year. It was like 51 weeks ago, right? And she came up to Philly that same weekend, and she was in a classroom studying, right? She comes out of the classroom to get some lunch, and when some of my kids saw her after knowing me for several months, they were like, "Theo, if you hurt her, Imma kill you." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Why am I the target of these threats?" Like, one of them, I mean, you'll know who I'm talking about, but, we're not gonna mention him. But one of them is this little child who's like 5 foot nothing. And I'm just like, "Why are you threatening me? Like, what is this?" It was so rude. It was so rude. And I'm just like, "You know what? Fine.
I thought
Fine."
it was sweet.
I mean, as long as they like, at the end of the day, obviously, as long as they like you, then we're good. But I'm just like, why is the threat necessary? It was crazy. Got another one. This one's this one's something. The engagement car, right? So here's the story.
Lord.
It was really early on in our relationship. Allie's grandparents were in town. Her parents and like us all went out to eat after a Towson football game, and the topic of engagement came up. Now, I don't know why, because we were so early on. Like, Allie was a freshman. Um, so I don't know how it came up, but it did. Now, at the time, I thought engagement rings were dumb, because I
Mm.
thought that if you got an engagement ring, you just wore it until you got your wedding ring. And I back then, my mindset was like, oh, you get married like 6 months after you get engaged, which is not the case. But that's what I thought back then. So I was like, oh, that's useless. Why would I get you something that you just don't use 6 months later? Um, so I was like, why get something that's so expensive that you can't use? So my idea instead, which I boldly and confidently said out loud, because I say everything boldly and confidently, was to get Allie an engagement car instead of an engagement ring. I thought she could use it It has more value. It's a really easy flex. I thought it was a great idea. I got laughed out of the room. It
Mhm.
was so brutal. Ah,
As as you should have gotten laughed out of the room. I like okay, listen. I know you were trying to be thoughtful and considering how much I spoke about liking the BMW i8 or my dad spoke about me liking it. Um I I just I know you were trying to be thoughtful. I know your heart was in the right place. However, for one, you know how much I hate driving.
yeah.
And two, I very much am a hopeless romantic and I love the classic stuff in proposals. So an engagement card to me just sounded non-committal. I don't know. Oops.
It was oh man. But I mean, I know better now. I know much
Yeah,
better.
that's why there's sets. That's why there's like wedding band engagement ring sets. So you don't
Yeah,
have to worry about that.
exactly. Um, got another one. We've been to New York City twice. Um, so every other Valentine's Day. So it actually would have been this year, but Rona. So every other Valentine's Day, the idea at the beginning of our relationship was to leave Maryland to go somewhere fun. So year 2 of our relationship, we went to New York City. We took the Amtrak up from Baltimore. We went to Times Square, the usual tourist thing. We went to a brand new Foot Locker. Like it was literally their grand opening that weekend. It was wild.
Mhm.
We tried out Bonchon for the first time. We didn't get the chicken. I don't know. I don't
I don't
necessarily
know
know
why.
why we didn't, but couldn't stop us now. Um, and then, so that was our first time going. Then in year 4, we drove from Maryland to Philly. Then we took the bus from Philly to New York because for some reason, an Amtrak from Philly to New York is the same length and a higher price than a bus. So we just took a bus. Um, Now, to be fair, that bus was one of the most traumatic experiences we could have imagined. Like, we got there early to make it on the bus.
Mhm,
Everyone behind us was late. The bus was late, and they
mhm.
almost didn't let us both on. They like let her on right away and almost didn't let me on in the bus.
I was freaking out, freaking out.
But they finally let me on. We sat like in different like levels of the bus, but we made it. Anyway, life is
Mhm.
ugly sometimes, but we made it. Um, I think I enjoyed the second time better outside of the minor heart attack.
Yeah.
Um, this time we went to the Kith store in Soho. That's when they
Mhm,
were doing the Versace Kith collection in the store, so we took pictures in there.
mhm.
We went to a Filipino restaurant, which was bomb. It was so good. Um, then we went to the OVO store because I mean, we went to the OVO store in the Bowery. It was a really good time. And then
Mhm.
we came back to Philly, had dinner at Sampan in Philadelphia. So overall, it was a really good experience.
Yeah, I had so much fun on those trips. The Filipino restaurant that we went to was called Jeepneys, if any of you guys wanna try it out, because I definitely recommend it. Um, of course, after the pandemic because it's a pandemic.
Yeah.
But I really wanna go again, soon because, uh I want to be able to buy stuff for myself and for us now that we have jobs. So I would love to go again.
No doubt. Now, for the home, the Mecca, Nando's.
Home and native. Yep. So Nando's. I am so honored to say that I was on the Nando's train before the hype and before there were that many in the US, mainly because of One Direction. But this restaurant means so much to me just because it was my home and native when I went to Taos, and there was one right around like the corner from Uptown, and was just a go-to for Theo and I whenever he'd visit me. So yeah, it's just the love of my life.
Honestly, it's just so good. Nando's is way too good, way too fire. It's a shame that on the East Coast, the northernmost one is actually at Towson. And I know there's at least like one
Mhm.
in Chicago, but East Coast wise, it's Towson, and then you have to go south to like Baltimore, then the DMV. So the dream idea is to open up a Nando's in Philly so everyone can experience the magic. So good.
Yes, yes.
Now something that's interesting, what we've taught each other. So I wanted to like just add this in. Didn't really prep Allie in advance.
Mhm.
So
Oh
one of the
god,
more valuable
rip.
things that has arisen out of our relationship is how much we learn about certain topics together. I know that I've personally learned a lot about very serious issues such as sexual harassment and sexual assault and how many forms those can take. And I've also learned a lot about discrimination towards members of the Asian community from her, and I've expanded my understanding far greater learning with her. I also have Allie to thank a lot for being such an outspoken and supportive ally this entire time. It's been fantastic with her level of support, feeling comfortable expressing my various frustrations regards to race relations in America and just how fantastic she's been throughout all of it. So I wanted to give a very public thank you for that, because it goes a very, very long way.
Thank you.
Um, so just wanted to throw that out there. Now for some more fun things. More fun things. So the question is, Allie, what is your favorite restaurant that you've introduced me to?
Okay, so well, I've never taken you to any restaurants because I'm not the one that drives, but I've badgered you into taking us to plenty. So my favorite one would be, um, or favorite couple would be Honey Pig, a Korean barbecue place, uh, Mama Rosa's, and Jollibee. Those two are um, Filipino restaurants. So
Yeah.
those are my favorites that I've had you try. How about you? What's the favorite restaurant that you've taken me to? Or
Uh
that yeah,
yeah, that you've taken me to, yeah.
yeah.
So Nando's, I mean, just I can't resist it. It's just so good all the time. Nando's till I die. And then that and Honey Pig. Like Honey Pig is the restaurant I miss far and away the most as a
Mhm.
result of the pandemic. We haven't been inside a restaurant to eat since March of
Ugh,
last year. And
so
the first
sad.
place I the first place I plan on going when we can safely go for sure is Honey Pig.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
definitely like, oh my goodness, when Jollibee finally opens in this area, oh,
Mhm.
it's gonna be an hour away, but I literally won't care at all. Like it won't matter.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm so excited that we actually have a Jollibee in this state opening up. So
Yeah.
hype.
Like there's gonna be one in Wheaton and one in Alexandria,
Mhm.
and we go to that area all the time anyway. So
Yeah.
we're chilling because like the other ones were like one's in like Virginia Beach, so that's
Yeah.
like 4.5 hours,
So far.
and the other one's in like New York City or something like that, like Long Island or somewhere like that. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
I need more Jollibee, and we're about to get some finally.
Finally.
Okay, so what's the favorite restaurant that I've taken you to?
I absolutely loved going to Hibin. It's also a Korean barbecue place, but it's a buffet style. So for context, we were in Annandale, Virginia, and we were planning on going to Kogia, but unbeknownst to us, we had to actually call ahead to make just a registration time, or else they wouldn't give you a time at all. So we made a quick decision because we were dead set on Korean barbecue, and we actually ended up at Habeen, which was honestly the best decision that came out that came from that, in terms of deciding on which restaurant to go to, because even though Kogyo is the more popular one, we actually ended up liking Habeen better, honestly. So,
Oh yeah. I would say my favorite one I've taken you to is Sampan in
hmm
Philadelphia. Oh my goodness. I think about Sampan way too often. Like just at home, in the middle of a panoramic, and I'm just like, dang, I could crush some Sampan right now. That he bean was elite. I mean,
oh, it was so good.
a buffet Korean barbecue restaurant, it should not exist because like it's just a cheat code. You just go in and stay. You just stay. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
It's so good. And there weren't even that many people in there until we left. Like we got there at like 5 or something, and then
hmm
it wasn't full till like 7:30. So we
Yes.
were literally in there all the time. And it was so good.
I'm so happy that that place has so far survived the pandemic, because I looked it up the other day and I don't think I saw anything about it being closed or like permanently closed. So that's definitely another place I want to go to after, it's safe to
Oh
go to
yeah.
restaurants again for sure. And Sampan too, because I would have liked to like try it more times so I could have, gotten a taste of like more of the menu.
Yeah, the menu's really big.
Oh
For it
yeah.
it comes in this tiny little pamphlet thing, but it's so big.
It was so overwhelming, I remember.
Yeah. Okay, so we got another one. So what's
Okay.
the favorite show that we've watched together?
I, I you know how indecisive I am, so I'm never gonna answer. Most of the time, I'm never gonna answer with just one. But I would say Hunter x Hunter or Demon Slayer, hands down. Um, because Hunter x Hunter will just always have a special place in my heart as well. Since that was like our first real subbed anime that we watched together, and just I don't know. I mean, even though we watched like Pokemon and Beyblade, like it just felt like an actual real anime getting to watch it subbed.
Yeah.
And then Demon Slayer, because the animation style of that show is absolutely phenomenal. It is gorgeous, and I just love Nezuko so much. I want to cosplay her again, or like be her for Halloween again someday, because wow, I just felt so powerful. I love her.
I would definitely say either Demon Slayer or Hunter x Hunter as well.
hmm
It took us so long to get through Hunter x Hunter because we started before the Rona. Like we started
hmm
at least before Valentine's Day
hmm
of that, like of 2020, because we were watching it and then we stopped watching it to watch To All the Boys too. I remember that.
Yes,
Um, because Jordan
Jordan
Fisher.
Fisher.
And we finished Hunter x Hunter in quarantine.
hmm
Um, whereas we just sped through both My Hero and Demon Slayer together because we were,
Yeah,
at home.
yeah.
Um, the the memes and the drawings we see on Instagram of Demon Slayer and My Hero characters, they're just so cute that it's been fantastic to keep talking about it.
hmm
Especially considering the Demon Slayer movie is coming to the US soon.
And the
Um,
second season.
and the second season. So we need that. I need that
So fast,
expeditiously.
please.
So let's close with talking about Stardew Valley.
Yes, yes,
It just might be the most fun game I've ever played, like
yeah.
literally.
Oh,
I
for
know
sure.
you and I have had our time playing Animal Crossing together,
hmm
which was also a lot of fun. But I think Stardew just has so much more to offer,
hmm
and I love playing, with it. You playing it with you every time we can.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved Animal Crossing so much. I still do. It's just I am just so indecisive when it comes to how I want to design my island, and I see so many people like so many inspiration photos of like what you can do, and it just overwhelms me because I just want my island to look good. And I just get so when I log back in, I get so overwhelmed like that it won't turn out that way, because it also costs so much money just to move your buildings around your island, because Tom Nook, he's a thief. But Stardew for sure is absolutely the most fun game we've played. Just because of, it has a storyline. It's just like kind of, not only is it like a farming, um, like slice of life type of game, it's also just like, it's really well thought out. Um, and for like a 2D type of style formatted game, like it's just so well thought out, and I don't know, just so intriguing. There's never an end to the amount of things that you can do. So I loved it.
Way too good, especially like the challenges involved with it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we play on the Switch,
Hmm.
so like certain things like fishing are just way harder.
Oh, so much harder.
And then they just added the 1.5 update
Hmm.
to Switch. So I mean, well, why not run it back? You know what I'm saying? Like
I am so
it's gonna be so
looking
good.
forward to that. Yeah.
It's gonna be great. But uh in closing today, that will be the end of the first guest episode with my wonderful girlfriend, Alli. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's been a fun time. I loved it.
And I just think that we like you're saying, like, oh my goodness, like first podcast, what do I do? You did fantastic, you know what I'm saying? We're out here. Want to know why? Because we're the best. Um
Yes.
and that's just how things go. So, we're about to go get some food. We're gonna continue Attack on Titan and
Yes.
sleep. A lot of sleep. So thank you for tuning in. Please stay safe. Alli, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.
And I'll catch you all next time.